Okay, welcome to lesson 4, SSS sharpening systems. We call this setup to sharpen. Several things you need to know in order to get properly set up to get a good sharpening job. If you miss these steps right here, you're not going to get good results. You're not going to have a sharp knife. It's going to look bad, and eventually you're going to give up and throw away your kit or sell it for $2 on eBay because you think the kit is useless and it doesn't work. Well, the kit does work, provided you know some certain things. Again, back to this drawing I just did a minute ago. You have to know your facets. We're going to do about 25 degrees on this next knife. What we want, our intent in this setup, is a nice clean facet all the way down both sides, and I'll show you how to do that. Anytime you sharpen a knife, you're going to wind up with what we call a burr. At the very end of that blade, it's going to tuck over just a little bit from your last stone. You're going to have a burr on this side all the way, and after you sharpen this side, you're going to have a burr this way. This is called the burr. It tucks over. You're going to see this word used over and over and over, because that's the main secret of good knife sharpening, is knowing when you reach burr state, when to switch stones to the next stone because of the burr, how to determine which side the burr is on, why the burr is there. It'll tell you what kind of metal it is, and you go very far if you become a master at recognizing the burr and what to do with it. Our intent is to get to the burr state with the first stone, work through all the other stones all the way down to your ceramic or beyond, so you get down to this point where you don't think you even see a burr. In reality, the burr will always be there to a tiny extent. The smaller the stone you use, so far as 1,000 points per inch, the smaller and smaller that burr will get until you get to leather stropping state, and you'll basically rub that burr off on the end, so you actually have a microscopic blade there, which is all the way down to the very tip, no burr. But that burr will always be there, tucked over this way or tucked over that way. If your last sharpening went this way, the burr will be here. If your last sharpening was here, the burr will be that way. The way we do knife sharpening, you work this side, that side, this side, that side, and each time you do, that burr is going to lean this way or lean that way. All it is the metal being filed and pushed off this way, metal being filed and pushed off this way. And as you're sharpening the knives down, you're bringing the stock further and further away from the initial point, which used to be on the knife right out of the factory. Right now you can see the knife, here's the actual point. When we get done with this knife, that might be in a 32nd or a 64th of an inch, because we're going to be cutting away all this stock to get down to a good facet. What you're left with is that little bit of an edge sticking out that doesn't get sharpened. It just gets pushed down, and then you sharpen, it gets pushed down back and forth, so you wind up having that burr. You're not going to get a good setup if you don't recognize the burr. You recognize the burr, you get the primary setup, you'll get a good facet. Once you have a good facet, you can run down through your smooth stones all the way to stropping if you want, and in the end you'll have a nice clean sharpening job exactly like you want. Factory edges of the knife, it'll come down to right here. This is our goal, to get a nice clean sharp point right there. There's no shortcuts to getting there. You can't just work faster or work harder. We want to take down all that stock from the old edges, which might have looked like this, and rounded, off-centered. We want to use our stone to clear all that up until we're down to here, and clear all that up until we're down to here. This is what we want to get from this, which is pretty ugly. Right now, this knife, it looks like it's kind of okay, because most people are used to seeing a factory knife and they think that's normal. That's not normal. That's a really poor quality job done on a machine. You can see the facet steps up right there. Not very good. We're going to get away from that. We're going to go to one that's already been done properly. A long single facet all the way around, nice and smooth. It'll shave the hair off of your arm, no problem. That's what we're going to work for.